We're here with my good friend Abraham Gonzalez, the head honcho of fightsatw.com. Abe, thank you for joining the program.
Hey, thank you, Lukie. Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be on your platform today, after being on hold for 30 minutes for no reason at all on the phone.
And that's not from me. So I did not put you on hold. But this is the second week of the newsletter podcast, which is 10 minutes we talk about the main event, 10 minutes we talk about the other stuff. This week, the only big fight we're going to be previewing for this week is the 360 Promotions Hollywood Fight Nights card, headlined by Omar Trinidad taking on Magic Mike Plania. What are your thoughts on this? 360 gets a chance kind of in a slow start to the year to kind of position one of their guys that they think could fight for a title soon. What's the Abe take?
That Magic Mike isn't going to be providing the type of entertainment that people might think when they hear Magic Mike, not the movie. Magic Mike is not that guy.
So give us a little more analysis of that. So you're expecting that this is going to be Omar kind of getting a devastating victory?
See, this is my thing with Omar Trinidad. Um, I People want to be behind him. I think that the only thing that stops Omar Trinidad from having people behind him is that early on he was getting the knockouts, kind of fell in love with his power a little bit too much. And so his last fight, which was I think at the Commerce, he went up against a guy that wasn't going down with his power. So the next step would be, all right, so what do you do now? And I didn't see the plan B or the next step or the change in game, a game plan. So he ignored the body. He was head hunting like crazy. Um, and it might have not been the last fight, maybe it would have been the one before. But needless to say, I just didn't see him leveling up, right? And I don't think that the Plania fight is that fight. Before I can say, hey, let's really look at Omar Trinidad, I need to see him against like some big names. I wouldn't even mind seeing him against Robeisy Ramirez, even though Robeisy had what he had. But a fight like that, you got some big names there. You got Stephen Fulton Jr., Brandon Figueroa, uh, you know, Ray Vargas whenever he decides to return or whatever. Like there's some big fights there. I need to see him level up against guys like that before I can say, yep, he's the guy that's next.
Well, just to put some context into this fight, he's ranked number 6 by the WBC in the featherweight division. He fought in a 12-round fight in his last fight. The only guys ahead of him are Segaway, Carlos Castro, Nathan Collins, Stephen Fulton, and Bruce Carrington. So I mean, he's right there. It seems like they're going a WBC route. And the thing about the WBC is, for better or for worse, there's two champions. You have Brandon Figueroa and Ray Vargas. Now, the downside to that is neither seems to be all that active. I guess spoiler any type of fear because Plana did beat Joshua Greer back in the bubble. Is there any hesitation on your end that this could be a tougher fight than expected?
No, I don't think so. And I don't think that Omar gets the knockout. I think this is a decision fight. Unless he finally decides to change the levels of his punching and get downstairs a little bit more. And Plania went down from a body punch against Angelo Leo, a well-placed one. And so if he's able to change the levels of his punches and able to give a little bit of variety, he can get him out of there. I still haven't seen that from him, so I won't say that he'll do that. But maybe he will. Maybe this is the fight that he starts to put it all together.
Your level of interest for this fight.
I'm at like a 7, because I think that as much belief. And listen, I'm not knocking Omar Trinidad down or nothing like that. His promoter Tom Loeffler is really behind him, and I think that as much as they're behind him now, I just need to see him against somebody, former world champion or somebody of that stature before I can really say, this is the guy we need to get behind, get behind.
Perfect. Okay. So for those watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast, that's your fight preview for this week. And if you go to the newsletter, you can get a free Whatever it's going to be, 10 more minutes of the show where we break down the undercard. If not, that's all you get. So now let's go